All right, folks, hope you're doing well. I'm getting this review up early. It has been a busy day for me from the new Tyler Perry movie, Finding Joy, dropping on Prime Video this morning. I watched it, did my review. Check it out on my main channel, Our Kind of Entertainment. Last night, The Oval came back with a decent episode compared to the previous two that aired last Tuesday night. Then House of Pain returns tonight at 8:30. Sisters comes on at 9, and I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead, get Beyond the Gates done quick, fast, and in a hurry. That way I'm up to date. So, this episode, I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed Tuesdays a little bit more, but I'll give this one an 8. It was going to get a 9, but knowing that Ted is probably going to be the catalyst for Eva and maybe even Leslie showing up to Winterfest, oh boy, that is not going to be good. But before moving forward, please take a moment to hit like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And, well, let's not waste any more time and jump right in. So, I guess this is Andre's big secret. So, he and Danny are talking. And the thing is, before Andre has any thoughts, Danny wants to make it clear, hey, me going to see Bill, my ex-husband, is not about spending quality time. It's just that I needed somebody to MC for Winterfest, and no one was able to do it or available to do it except for him. And then she brings up her modeling and her magnificent expectations and whatnot. And she claims that, look, I only need to be the apple of my husband's eye, not the center of attention at the grocery store. And I'm willing to give it all up for love. And I'm like, just because of this one deal? I mean, sure, I get Pam saying that if Danny turns down this deal, she might not get another one, but it just seems a bit much to say I'm giving up my dreams for love when it's like, I mean, it's just this one brand deal. I don't know. I guess one deal makes a difference. And if you don't take this deal, this doesn't mean you won't get back into the world with your agency. It's just that this is a massive stepping off point. Okay. But he says that people do crazy things for love, and she wonders what the story behind that is. So he explains about how he's the type that dips his toe in every ocean and lets the wind make him bounce around, especially when a woman wanted more. One woman offered him a future he liked, but he couldn't commit to it. And that's when Danny's like, is it due to you not having parents? And he mentions how hard it was to lose them because it's such an early age, since, losing your parents, that's a whole level of love you lose, especially when you lose both at the same time. That's why he's so selfish with his love. Because, yeah, he has flings, he's the playboy, but he doesn't really settle down. So the forever thing is something that, you can't really count on. So that's when he brings up his first camera ever and how his parents supported him in his endeavors. Because his dad loved to laugh and both his parents made a killing with their firm. But the thing that really set them apart is that even though he didn't want to follow in their career path, they still supported him and loved him. And he spent his whole life trying to make him proud. And he misses his parents and their love, but all he has is their photos. So he doesn't know where he would be without, of course, Uncle Ted and Aunt Nicole. And he's sure his parents would be all in on them in their future. Really? You think they support you dating your uncle's ex-wife sister? I don't know. But they hold hands, and she reassures her husband that, oh, don't worry, I'm sure your parents are proud of you. So what makes it even more of a tender moment is that you inspire me, and I think I have your parents to thank for that. So they kind of have a crying moment. And it's sweet because to see them like this compared to when they first started, when it was nonstop sex, is kind of touching. Even though I don't really fully support their relationship. But hey. And he does agree to do the photo shoot. It's like, you're a superstar. And hey, guess what? I want to share that spotlight. So that's when he mentions how his mom had a list of causes that he wants to donate the money from the shoot for. And she suggested they set up a foundation in his father's name. And he agrees with the idea. And then they both talk about how fortunate and remarkable they are. So, they kiss. And it was sweet. And if you're wondering, yeah, the money, it doesn't matter to these two because she's wealthy not to mention comes from a wealthy family. And Andre, he never made money from his photos. What I mean by that is any money he got from his photography work, he donated to causes because his parents left him a pretty sizable fortune that he inherited. So, it's all good. Now, we go over to my baby Laura is back again. Yeah. Okay, don't worry. I'm not going to gush over. Somebody in the comments from my Monday review was like, heck, I'm surprised you don't talk about Laura and her beauty more. Hey, it's like I said, I try not to have crushes on these actresses, and there are not enough words in the dictionary or time in the day for me to express how beautiful I think she is. But hey, her looks aside, I'm glad she is more present in the show. So hopefully we can get more from her character. So she and Nicole are meeting with the chef at the country club about the upcoming Winterfest feast. And she's reluctant to do it, but they talk her into the gig. Now, since she's a chef, all I can do is think about is Joey being not impressed by her cooking in the last episode. So after the chef, leaves, that's when Ted pops up and is surprised that he's on the Winterfest guest list. That's when Laura leaves to give him a moment because, she's secretly rooting for these two. And they talk for a bit and he assures her that, hey, wild horses couldn't keep me away from Winterfest. And they reminisce about how much they love the event since it's Ted's favorite holiday. And they talk about Winterfest of the past and whether they tried hard enough in their marriage. But he tells her that, hey, just thank you for letting me be a part of the family for that night. And all I'm thinking to myself is, Ted, you're getting the invite to be part of the family for that specific night. Don't use this as an opportunity to drag your other daughter trying to get her part of the family. I feel like this is just one of those things where Ted gets his foot in the door. This is the equivalent of you making plans with someone and you go to pick them up or meet them at the spot, and then it's like, oh yeah, well, so-and-so's coming too. It's like, well, we made plans for just the two of us while you got like 3 other people coming. I ain't got time for this crap. That's essentially what this fool's doing. And like, while I like the scene, I just know this is what this Negro going to do. Now, after Ted leaves, that's when Laura comes back. And they talk about, the Ted and Leslie situation and hoping that he won't bring her to Winterfest. But Nicole's like, well, I can't really say anything because of the fact that I told him to stay out of my personal life, a.k.a. Carlton. But that's when Laura mentions that her own relationship is in trouble right now. And Nicole knows that it's hard to walk away, especially when you want things to work out. So speaking of relationships that are forced, we go over to the hospital and Ashley keeps babbling to Shanice, who's like done with it, just saying, look, take a breath. And that's when Ashley wonders why Derek is in such a hurry to get married, pressuring her to set a date. And Shanice just gives her a pep talk about, why you keep second guessing yourself. And Ashley just says that forever is a long time and people change, basically reiterating part of what Naomi was saying in Monday's episode. But Shanice says marriage is a job and, well, it can be scary. But the thing is, don't feel guilty about, having reservations. And Ashley's kind of stunned by this. But that's when, of course, Shanice flashes back to Derek's feeling in his legs. And she just tells Ashley to give yourself a break since, everyone tells white lies. Basically insinuating that, hey, I know you probably didn't really want to get married. Now you're second guessing yourself. And Ashley's like, well, Derek never tells lies. Yeah. So we're over at the house and Derek thinks about how he nearly lost Ashley to the Playboy and tries to stand up, but he falls over. And as he manages to get back in his chair, Jan arrives with food and she offers him some advice. She tells him that I was the one that urged Ashley to forget about Andre and to pick him instead. And the fireman says, well, hey, I'm no saint or anything. And that's when Jan is sure that you're the perfect man for my daughter. And Derek couldn't be happier to marry into the family. Which is funny because I think the last time that Jan stopped by the house to talk to Derek was the same episode that she popped up unknowingly because he said he was leaving. Because he was actually packing his things. So after she leaves, he does manage to stand up. Because Shanice does actually call him to say, you better tell Ashley the news soon. And that's when she walks in and gasps to see him standing up. And she's amazed by this miracle and hugs him. before he sits down again. And she's like, you don't go from paralysis to standing up. You were feeling something, weren't you? And didn't tell me. Look, I've had feeling in my legs for months, and I was hoping to surprise you on our wedding day. It's been months? Time flies in these soap operas. She starts breaking down about how you made me work so hard. You made me worry and afraid of, the possibility of you never getting better or walking again. And you pulled a stunt like this. And it's like, look, I should have told you it was a mistake. You got to forgive me. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for you, Ash. And then she's like, there's a voice in my head that's telling me you were just manipulating me to keep me for Andre. And Derek doesn't know what he was thinking. And she's thinking the truth. But here's my thing with this. She can't handle this and says that I don't even know you anymore. And you know what? I think I've been lying to myself and we can't get through this. And then she leaves. While Derek was a dirty dog for lying, because we know he most likely kept it a secret because he was afraid of Ashley leaving for Andre. I cannot say that she's innocent in any of this because I called it from the jump. I said the only reason she's running back to Derek is out of guilt because she feels like it's her fault he got injured, that he may never walk again. This is all her doing. None of them are innocent in this. That's all I'm saying. Now, and that's the crazy part because Danny and Andre seem to be working through stuff and growing, even though, it is iffy as to whether or not the Anita impersonator is a legit wedding officiate. So is there a wedding legit? I would think so, considering Bill had Caroline give him like the copy of the marriage license so we could look it over. So yeah, Ashley, what you gonna do now? The man you were pining after and threw away, he's married happily. Now, speaking of other characters who I feel like they're forcing things. So kind of like in my Monday review, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this Eva and Leslie scene. Oh, happy belated birthday, Leslie, in real life. They talk, and essentially Eva's gushing over how new and different her mom feels since Ted forgave them. But the thing is, Mama, I don't want you to jump the gun. We're building a relationship with Dad, with Ted. And that's when Leslie says, like, look, you need to see the big future that's going to blossom because she's determined to get Ted to herself since they're meant to be. And she wants to rekindle the love that they had that created Eva in the first place. And she wants Eva to get everything she's got coming. I hope that was foreshadowing. And Eva's, just kind of stunned by this. So that's when Leslie talks about how you have to stalk what you want and then bring it home. And just like clockwork, Ted shows up and they talk about forgiveness and everything. And he thanks them. And that's when Leslie's happy to hear that he's looking to greener pastures. It's like you go 2 steps forward and 20 steps back. He's going to invite him to Winterfest. He's going to invite him. I know it. So that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you later.